thank you for coming out. We need better weather for this. Every year it's either raining, freezing cold. Like yesterday's temperature was 20 degrees warmer. It would have been a lot nicer, but here we are. Thank you for coming out. I'm going to talk about William Hugh McGuckin. William was born on January 5th, 1918. He died April 24th, 1984. He was 66 years old at his passing. He graduated from East Palestine High School in 1937 and later attended Niagara University in upstate New York, where he played football until he couldn't play football after a knee injury. His parents were Edward McGuckin and Margaret Baker McGuckin. His father was a tire builder at McGraw Tire in East Palestine. Father was a jiggerman at a local pottery. In 1930, his father made $7,700 a year, and they owned their own home on Rebecca Street in East Palestine. In 1940, at age 22, he was working 60 hours a week as a clerk in the coal yards. William lived in East Palestine until age 22, when he married his wife, Ruth Law, on January 17th, 1940. They moved into his wife's parents' house, which was on East Park Avenue. And then he served in the U.S. Navy as a Seabee during World War II from 1943 until 1945. William's brother, Edward, was killed at Pearl Harbor in 1941. He had a sister, Julia, and William and Ruth had two sons. There was a daughter, Janice, and a son, David. And my understanding is David lives in Columbus now, and at one point Janice was living in San Francisco. William was a member of the American Legion. Family always came first, and he never talked about work when he was at home. And you see the police hat up here. Mr. McGuckin was a police chief here in Columbiana. One of the things that he always told his son, and as any parent here can attest to, try your best and don't do stupid stuff. He loved golf and he loved to travel. After retiring, he would travel quite a bit to San Francisco to see his daughter. At age 50, in 1950, at age 32, he became a police officer for the village of Columbiana. He was hired on January 1st, 1950, and became chief on November 3rd, 1950. So he only had 11 months of experience before he became chief in Columbiana. He replaced Barney Millen. If you were part of this tour last year, I spoke with Barney Millen. So the joke was back then that when Millen was chief, there was him and maybe one other officer. They knew he was retiring, and I had a little cartoon up, and it said once he retired, they needed 4 more officers to replace him. So it was just with population growth and everything else that they ended up adding 4 more officers in the next year. November 18th, 1955, he graduated from the FBI Special Training, and he later graduated in 1957 from the FBI National Academy. And he was chief of police here in Columbiana for 17 years. There's one little news article that has some good, funny little pieces in it from when he was in D.C. Chief McGuckin, he was in Washington, D.C. for some training. Him and some officers from the Youngstown Police Department had just checked into the hotel, walking down the street, stepped on one of the elevator shafts for deliveries on a sidewalk that wasn't secured properly, fell down into it, set an alarm off. Once he caught his breath, he said, "We need to find some police and put some flares around this." When he looks up, he's surrounded by 15 Washington police officers. So I think he set an alarm off. He showed him his credentials, spoke to the other 4 officers from Youngstown. Things were cleared up pretty quickly. But, one thing also to note about that training that he went to, it was a week long of lectures on traffic, crime, disasters, and administrative procedures. There were 752 other officers at the refresher course, and they all had 2 special treats there. some of this group will understand who they are, but one was President Eisenhower, and President Eisenhower underlined the importance of the National Academy. And then the other person, they were entertained to a special program by Lawrence Welk. If you don't know who Lawrence Welk is, turn on PBS on the weekend. And you'll still
We
see
do.
it.
I do. Met him.
Lawrence Welk was flown in from the West Coast for a one-night stand, financed by the band leader's TV sponsor, who was Dodge, a division of Chrysler. So, fun little fact there. But that is my presentation for Chief McGuckin. So, thank you guys.